We won't. We'll just put the case in the parliament. We're going to put the case in the election, full stop.
Final question from the ABC.
Bill Shorten, Scarborough Lane from the ABC 7:30 program. Thanks for your speech. Just on your quote, which you say is the defining moment of the campaign, are you able to recite the sentence that immediately follows?
I don't have it with me.
I'll read it to you. It says, "You have seen the Labor Party has opposed many measures of ours, which they have subsequently supported or subsequently changed their position on. The best known of those is obviously the school kids bonus, which they made an iconic issue and launched petitions and campaigns, and then they said they were going to fight it all the way to election day to restore it. And then they did a very quick backflip. Do you still stand by your comment as saying that this is the defining quote of the campaign?"
Well, I do think the excerpt is. It goes to show you what sort of leader Malcolm Turnbull will be. Absolutely. If some people in Australia think that nothing that a candidate for the highest political office in the land matters, well, then I suppose you'd let this comment go through to the keeper. But I don't, and I won't. What I fundamentally believe here is that if Mr Turnbull's saying that he's giving himself a leave pass even before he's been elected not to keep his promises, I won't. You know, I appreciated some of the earlier questions from Michelle and others. They say, "Are you going to keep your promises? Do you want to give yourself some wiggle room?" No, I don't want to give myself some wiggle room. The policies we've worked out are costed and funded. You know, the political wisdom in this country is that governments lose elections and that opposition should just sit back, be a small target, don't offer an alternative vision for this country. In the last 3 years, my United Labor team's gone from being not just united, not just a strong opposition, but to being a strong alternative. We've outlined our values. People, at least in this election, can go into the ballot boxes knowing what Labor stands for. We do stand for properly funding our education systems, right from childcare through to schools to TAFE and to universities. We think that merit is a legitimate human condition and shouldn't be educational opportunity shouldn't be confined to just the very well-off. We believe that health care of all Australians is important. We've made a deliberate decision to prioritise properly funding aspects of our health system and Medicare, which the government simply isn't. We've made a deliberate decision to back in better technology in our NBN. We've made a deliberate decision to support first home buyers get a level playing field. We've made a deliberate decision to talk about climate change and take real action focusing on renewable energy. We've made a deliberate decision to put our policies out there and cost them, because our vision of this country, both in the first 100 days of when we form it, the way we would govern through consensus, and where we want to see this country go in the next 10 and 15 years, we haven't hid our vision from the Australian people. We have a fundamental view that you can't have economic growth unless you have growing equality. You can't have growing equality and a sustainable economic growth unless you put in the basic building blocks, infrastructure, public investment in our public transport and roads, investment in our education and skills, investment in new industries from our tourism infrastructure fund right through to the NBN and renewable energy. So I am completely confident that this is an issue in the election. If Mr Turnbull's willing to say, well, he doesn't want to be governed to a standard other than I can change my mind, well, I don't think that's good enough for this country. We want to be a break from the past. That's why we've been such a strong opposition, and that is why we've been such a positive alternative government. That's why we funded our policies. That's why we're intending to spend less than we save every year going forward. That's the sort of government we'll be, a government for all Australians. Thank you very much,
Please thank the opposition leader.